Does anybody else wish to address council on any other item that is on the agenda? Would you please come forward?
I would. But I have to talk to Don Barber first.
We have the corporate reports.
And out of respect for Don Barber, I'll be
R1
sitting
to R5, I think it is. R4. Motion to receive them.
Second. This is the one.
Councillor Mullen.
Yes, I read R4, and I guess my question, and this is regarding the whole complaints issue with regards to Don Barber at the council meetings. And there is an addition to this which talks about the possibility of an investigator. And I guess my concern with that would be, well, first and foremost, the cost is relatively significant. And how many times would an investigator have to come forward to take a look at complaints? So I guess I'm looking for some direction from possibly staff, if there is something that we could put in place, which would be, I guess, a complaint procedure against staff, and maybe somebody could respond, or if there's another way in terms of looking at it. Talk to Mary Ellen Bench about it, and I mean, I'm wondering if there is something like maybe the ombudsman that could take a look at something like this. It just seems to me that it may be an ongoing scenario and a continuation, and never a satisfaction at the end of the day, that we would be just putting more and more money into this. So, you know, I guess the first thing is maybe a complaint procedure that we could adopt as council against a staff member, if that's something that we could look at, or whether looking at some sort of an ombudsman that would take a look at ongoing complaints such as this. You're looking at $50,000 plus, and I'm not sure how much money has been put into looking at some of these complaints so far, but I see it as sort of possibly an ongoing scenario that might never really come to a satisfactory conclusion. So I guess I'm looking for some direction.
Councillor Mullen, I met with the city manager this morning. I had not seen the report, and I was going to ask, and I was a little slow in asking, that this report be referred back to look at a process that should be developed. I think we should look at, we talked about the ombudsman that Toronto is appointing, because we've already had one that costs close to $50,000. Here's another one that might be. And when you read the report, it also says that not only information has been provided to be investigated in addition to that. So I would ask council to refer it back to staff and the city manager to do further investigation on it and come up with a policy and a process. Whether we look at an ombudsman is something we should look at. Or what other options there are for us to consider before we proceed with this one. So we would like to...
Yes, I'd be happy to do that, and the ombudsman may be the way to go at the end of the day, but I'd like some reflection on that as to what the success of that might. So I would be happy to move that.
Seconder for the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. And a motion to adopt or to receive the R1 to R3 group. All in favor? Carried.
So, a lot of stuff to do as far as video over the next little while, with certainly the most interesting thing being the complaints process. And let me read something to you. I've been talking about no viable complaint process within the city of Mississauga. And this is not just for security. This is like for everything. And it says so. In the comment section, May 15th report, it says, the Municipal Act 2001, I call it the Evil Empire Act, grants municipalities broad powers to establish a governance structure, or not establish one. and provide for accountability and transparency, those words again, of the municipal corporation, there's that other word again, and its operations. Save and accept the obligation to establish a procedure for handling complaints respecting in-camera discussions. That's Bill 130, by the way. And the Municipal Act. There is no statutory requirement that municipalities create or establish a complaints procedure, policy, or protocol. Do you understand that? That aside from in-camera, there's nothing in the 2001 Municipal Act that requires a municipality to establish a complaints procedure. So if you've got a problem with Parks and Rec, if you have a problem with something that happened on transit, there's no requirement. Isn't a complaints procedure the most important kind of public input? Not only not a procedure, but if a procedure isn't a requirement, then neither is keeping track of complaints. And I have this question to John Garrettson for Bill 130, because I wrote you. And of course, who designed the 2001 Municipal Act but the Mike Harris government? They're not people. And here's my question. Could the province have cared any less about human beings? Could you care any less?